This is Music Corner episode 10 on Real World Audio. So now I'm going to show you a recording that I have a love-hate relationship with, and it's 6 centuries of the viola, and the violist is Milton Thomas, and the pianist accompanying him is Georgia Akst. And it's on Counterpoint Esoteric Records, which is Everest, really. And I would say, the catalog number is 5605, and it's a very good sounding record to start with. And it's well, let's look at the cover. I don't know about the cover. After a while I figured out that it's a person playing a viola, and it's probably a statue. It looks to me like one of those Soviet artworks that it's like a modern art. To me this looks like something which is unfinished. But it really portrays pain. So generally I love all sorts of expression forms in art, but in modern art I find that there are some disturbing elements to it. And it's fine that we express pain, we express frustration, we express unhappiness, but what I think is that modern art is just obsessing with it, obsessing with the negatives to such a degree that it's really unhealthy. So here you see it's kind of like that there's a plastic bag over the head of the violinist, and it's kind of like an animal face, or just like a Joker face, or maybe a pig or something, but it's something really monstrous, and it doesn't bring you good feelings, and it doesn't heal your soul, but pushes you more down into whatever problems you acquire during your hard day at work, your challenges through life. Because we have good things and bad things happening to us during our lives, and when good things happen, everything is fine. We can go about with our merriment, we can listen to easy music such as rock and roll or Justin Bieber or whatever one listens to during good times. But when it comes to trying times, when tragedies happen in your life, that's when you truly need music to heal you. And that's where an audiophile system can come into your life to provide you this deep healing. And this recording actually is able to provide such a healing experience. But first, as the cover suggests, you have to go through pain. And that's true for both sides of the album. So here basically it says that it's 6 centuries of the viola, and it's covering a period of 6 centuries. No, by no means it's not a comprehensive recording of the 6 centuries of viola music. That would be probably a very thick box set. These are just a few pieces to help you through a really quick and fast time travel that you can enjoy in the span of an hour. So on the first side there are 3 Italian dances. The first one is a Venetian dance, and then Lament of Tristan and Saltarello. Saltarello is a very popular medieval theme, and that and Tristan's Lament are from the 14th century, and the Venetian dance is from the 16th century. So we are kind of jumping through time, because we start in the 1500s and then go back to the 1300s, and then we go to, where do we go? We go to Robert Schumann. So we jump almost to our days, like really, really close. Which year? We jump to 1851. So that's 170 years ago. So that's pretty close to our times. And where does that pain come in that I started to talk about? The pain comes in right away with the Venetian dance at the beginning. It's interpreted in a very weird way. And when I first heard it, after about a minute, I was ready to put the record back to its sleeve and say goodbye to it. The only reason I didn't do that is because I was not listening to it from my sweet spot, from the sofa, but I was out in the kitchen doing stuff. And I was listening from there. And from there I could hear two things. One of them is that the recording quality of this record is purely phenomenal. It really felt that Milton Thomas is here in my house playing a concert for me. And it's not that type of feel that you tend to get from digital, that it's in your room and you feel that it's being recreated for you, but it gives me the feel that I'm back there at the time when it happened. So when I think about vinyl and digital, the big difference between them is that digital brings something to your room, and it's excellent at that, and vinyl takes you back to the event, and then you connect with those people who played the music. It creates an intimate, personal bond. While digital doesn't do this, digital brings events to your room and mechanically recreates it. And depending on your digital gear, the recreation can be very annoying or extremely satisfying and extremely impressive. And you would say that this is the peak of music reproduction. It cannot get any better. And then when I listen to this record after that, then what I get is that all these concerns, that is it better, is it not, can I hear this, can I not hear that, how is blah blah blah, it all becomes meaningless, because I am getting in touch with the humans. You can feel not just the body of the violin, the bow, but you can feel the feelings that the performers had while they were playing. You feel that you are back in time there at that exact moment where they created music. And coming back to the Venetian dance, my problem with it is that the tempo, the playing of it was so weird that it just made me really annoyed and angry. And then I was going to go into the living room, just let the kitchen where it stood, and just took the record off. But then something really wonderful happened. The Venetian dance stopped, and then Tristan's Lament started, and it was played wonderfully. And the Saltarello again, they are fantastic interpretations, and I was really glad that I did not stop playing this record. And then Schumann's music is also fantastic, soothing. Then switching to side B, then we have Henry Lazaroff's Inventions for Viola and Piano starting, followed by Benjamin Britten's Lacrimae. And there I had the same experience, that the Inventions for Viola and Piano was a real torture. And that one I couldn't stand. I just lifted the needle and put it on Lacrimae. And you have to know that when I listen to vinyl, I never ever do that. I always put a record on and listen to the whole side. And just in moments of pure desperation do I do such a thing, that I skip something on the record. But I had to skip it because this piece, although here it has a description of the accolades and on the technical aspects of this piece, that that the composer really did something special, and he really moved things to the next level and did lots of musical feats to achieve it. But it brings one philosophical question to mind, that just because you can do something, it doesn't mean you should do it. And I think this musical piece is a perfect expression for that. And if you are about to do something in your life, then maybe it's a good thing to listen to this piece, Invention for Viola and Piano by Henry Lazaroff, because it will help you decide that just because you can do something, it might not do any good for the world to perform that act or go through that course through your life. And when I skipped that, went to Britain's piece, then it brought peace back, and was something that I decided that okay, I will keep this album. And this thing, I think Milton Thomas, the performers, decided on the order of the works on purpose. And this type of performance style came into being during the French king's days, the Sun King, and all of the decadence that happened during the last years, last decades of the Kingdom of France, before it all gets snuffed out into the violence of the French revolutions. So there what happened is that the high nobility enjoyed music, enjoyed classical music day and night. They had wonderful composers like Jean-Philippe Rameau composing beautiful pieces for them. And what the composers noticed is that these noblemen, they went to listen to those pieces, they went to concert for two reasons. One of them is because it was chic, and it was really mandatory to attend these concerts, otherwise you were not in the favor of the king. And the second thing they went to is that they slept through the pieces, because they had orgies that lasted through the night and they needed time to sleep. And the long concert was just the perfect excuse to get some much needed sleep for these not so fine gentlemen. And what composers of the age started to do, and Jean-Philippe Rameau was a good example for that, is that they, instead of following the usual order of composing, that you have a nice quiet introduction and it's building up to a crescendo, to a forte, to the climax, and then it quiets down. So they broke this tradition and they started with something stunning. So you can look at a couple of Rameau pieces, like for example Hippolyte and Aricie, and or A couple more. The titles escape my mind. It's too early in the morning. I need my tea to just start functioning, and I haven't had that yet. So, so in the beginning of these pieces, Rameau just sneaks in a few timpani beats, like a bum, just to wake up these slumbering no-gooders. And this is what is happening on this record as well, that on both sides the opening pieces really waken you up, and if you were lost in your thoughts or you are not concentrating on the music, they will make you concentrate on the music, because it's so unbearable that you will develop very strong feelings, and you cannot do anything. Just two things: either leave the concert room, or focus all your anger, frustration, all your emotions on the play, and maybe the players and composer as well. And when the performers have your undivided attention, then they go to the next piece, next musical piece, which will give you that much needed healing and restoration, which is the main purpose of every single classical music concert. And this is going on today as well in the concert rooms, that there's a modern piece that opens the night, and it's generally horrible. To me, it just invokes the feelings of anger and outrage. But for most people, well, they have to talk their accounts themselves, but it helps the whole audience to catch their attention, because if you just start playing Bach for them, Beethoven, then they might be just falling asleep right away, and they are not ready for that. And usually when you have healing going on, it's a natural response from your brain to go to sleep, to go to slumber. But if first you had some huge excitement, you are not prone to falling asleep afterwards. So I hope this little exploration was useful. I was just sharing my thoughts, and thank you for bearing with me. Bye bye.